So I'm out here getting some sunlight as I've been a night owl for a while, and I figured I'd take the time to talk about the job I recently quit. Now, normally I don't quit jobs like this. I do job hop every few years or so just because there's a bigger incentive, but I've noticed like after the pandemic, a lot of these jobs have just turned inward and it just seems like they don't value their staff anymore, or as if they're collapsing secretly and they don't want you knowing about it. So at this job alone, I have noticed there's been a lot of red flags. Like despite the videos that I've talked about last week and the announcements about how like, there's all these weird letters saying they don't want to continue employing me and doesn't list the reasons why, but yet I'm still working there, clocking in and clocking out and all that stuff. And on top of that, I've noticed we're doing the work of every department for the same amount of pay, but yet we don't have enough people, but at the same time we're overstaffed. Like we got like 5 people at the register when we only need like maybe 3 or 4, and there's like not enough people for this certain department where we have too many people here, too many people don't know how to do this or do that because they don't train you properly to know everything. The coworkers there were telling me that there are some people who have been there for like 6 months or so and they're still trying to get the hang of things because there's just not enough training to go around to get the feel how to do it on your own. And that's kind of a red flag. Like if you're not set up to win to be by yourself, then that's the company's fault, not yours. And that's another thing I've experienced a lot after the pandemic, especially when I was working at bars and restaurants. Like bars and restaurants are a dying market for that exact reason. After the COVID pandemic, when the government was handing everybody free money, I've seen so many of the best employees and staff leave. And that means the rest of the work and expectations were pushed to its remaining staff, which means the remaining staff are working twice as hard, if not more, for the same amount of pay. And they're doing things like kitchen work, which pays $15 or $20 an hour, while still being paid a server, which is $2.15. And when they asked if they can get extra pay, they said no, and that we're all in this together till COVID pandemic's over. And now bars and restaurants aren't making money like they used to because now inflation has skyrocketed. And they lowered their quality and they increased their prices, which is the reason people aren't going out as much. And every time I go to bars and restaurants, it's like the same thing. They don't set you up to win. They don't train you properly. They get annoyed when you're having a hard time learning something. Everything's like so fast paced because they just don't have the staff and time and proper training to help you like they used to back in like 2015 or so. And within like 3 weeks or so, they throw you out. Some of the bars and restaurants I've been to will have you work like 3 days for free without any paycheck or any sort of information as to why they stopped scheduling you. And people go around saying they do it all the time. It's like these people are trying to cut corners in every way they possibly can. And this job was definitely one of them. I've had other friends tell me they worked at the same company and they noticed like the same kind of red flags as well. For example, this guy literally like shit his pants in the job because he had some kind of sickness and he asked if he can go home and they said no. And when he literally had diarrhea on the job, they made him stay overtime that day. And I'm not even positive that's legal, but they made him do that. And that's a red flag I noticed about this company. The red flags I've noticed when I worked there is I was doing the work of every department for the same amount of pay. There was no leadership. And overall, I just sensed a lot of red flags because when I saw the schedule, I was only working 13 hours this week. And that's not enough, especially with inflation and the economy. That's like, you may as well not even be there. And another thing was, it said we pay weekly, and on the payday for Friday, I didn't get paid. I was not paid for my time working last week, Monday through Thursday. And they said it had something to do with like a week cycle, like a week and a half or so, which didn't make sense to me because every company I've been to that paid weekly, I was still paid for my time, even though it was like 3 days of the week. So this was another red flag I noticed. So this is their flyers of saying now hiring, and they also have these at the front door with the QR scanner to take you to the hiring app. So here's the thing. They have all these incentives to get you to want to work there, such as the weekly pay, which I just discussed, didn't happen. Paid training and e-learning, which I think they mean by college or something like that. Paid vacation, probably a year of work in there or so. Associate discount is somewhat true. You get like, I don't know, 25% off on stuff. You get a free fountain beverage and coffee. That's true. Flexible schedules, well, it's true. I mean, I work 13 hours a week. Career advancement, don't really know about that, but a couple people who work there for a year are shift leaders, so there could be a career advancement. But with inflation, you don't really make enough money to be there. High $5 recognition program, don't know what that is. 401k, I don't know much about that. Haven't heard about it. The mental, dental, and full-time associates. So here's the thing, like I said earlier, when it was overstaffed with too many people and all of us doing the same departments for the same amount of pay. So the fact that it's overstaffed, that means they ensure that there will be no overtime, and they overstaff it to where they can cut your hours to where they don't have to pay your benefits because they cut every corner they possibly can. So that's a big scam. Eligibility pay increase every 6 months. And I don't know about the pay increase, but with inflation, I'm sure it'll outpace your wages in 6 months or so. So if you have like flyers at the front of the store, and like as if they need you and they really want help and that they'll take anyone they can get, and they have all these signs around everywhere, watch out for that. If they have like a mentality where they need you more than you need them, that's a red flag. Literally today, I decided to wake up and say, you know what, I'm not coming back. Like, there's just too many red flags for the short amount of time I've been there. And I've been at many different jobs, but out of all of them, this one has like a lot of red flags, especially the strange letters I was getting in the mail from corporate, which I kind of saved as evidence in case I want to take it to court, but there's really probably nothing much I can do about it. So after that, I didn't show up today, and literally 30 minutes after the shift, they called up my phone twice in a row, leaving a voicemail as if they need me more than I need them. And when I was there, everyone just seemed kind of like we had enough people kind of feeling, and they had more staff than they need, and there was a lot of drama and stuff. It overall, like, too many red flags. Now, before people type away in the comments, which they probably have long ago, no, I'm not lazy. No, I'm not someone who doesn't want to work. No, I'm not someone who is afraid of working or any of those excuses that I hear from quiet quitting. No, it's just if you're a smart worker out there willing to look for work and do what it takes to get to the next level in life, you're not going to waste your time, effort, and energy for that little bit of money. Looking back at what this country was like all these years ago until COVID, and me being able to have a job and hold on to it and somewhat keeping up with inflation and having more opportunities and choices. But then to see the reality of all the opportunities in America and all this dictation similar to North Korea and China, and this to me is like, I don't get it. I don't get why this is our reality compared to what it used to be.